Ever had that feeling someone's bullshitting you right to your face? Yeah, probably because they fucking are. On average, people lie at least once a day. That's not even the compulsive liars. We're talking about your nice coworker, your Tinder date, maybe even your own damn grandma. People lie to cover their ass, dodge consequences, or twist the situation so you end up looking like the dumbass. Classic manipulation, straight out of the motherfucking playbook. And that's why learning to spot a lie isn't just some Sherlock Holmes party trick. It's survival. It's a defense mechanism to stop you from getting played by some smooth-talking motherfucker who smiles while stabbing you in the back. The FBI's been doing this shit for decades, interrogating criminals, spies, and other shady-ass humans using techniques that actually work. And today, I'm breaking down their best tactics so you can spot when someone's lying through their goddamn teeth. Let's kick this off with the first technique. It's simple, it's slick, and it'll make you look like a lie-sniffing badass. Let's talk about asking the right fucking questions, because how did it go last night is about as useful as asking a raccoon if it pays taxes. A 2018 study broke this down. The broader the question, the easier it is for someone to dance around the truth like a slippery little liar. Can you tell me how it went last night? Sure. If you want to hear a vague-ass story full of half-truths and imagination. Now, slightly better is the old hopeful setup. You didn't get back late, right? Which basically hands them a get-out-of-jail-free card. You're not interrogating, you're basically giving them a pre-written excuse like, hey, lie to me gently, please. The real gold? Negative assumption questions that are open-ended. Something like, what the hell kept you out so late last night? Boom. Now they have to explain. No easy outs, no vague bullshit. Either they cough up the real story, or they start spinning a web so detailed you can watch them trip over their own narrative. That's when the cracks show. But listen, don't go full psycho mode. This ain't a fucking cross-examination on CSI. If you get all up in their face and start acting like Judge Judy with a caffeine addiction, they'll shut down or get defensive, and you'll get nowhere fast. Instead, stay cool. Be the calm, composed motherfucker who makes them want to keep talking. Let them dig their own hole with their words. You're just handing them the shovel. Next up, the 5-second rule. And no, I'm not talking about dropping a Cheeto on the floor and pretending it's still clean enough to eat. I'm talking about the real 5-second rule, the one that sniffs out lies before they're polished and gift-wrapped in bullshit. Here's the deal. After you ask someone a question, the first 5 goddamn seconds are everything. That's the golden window. After that, the liar's brain starts running PR mode, rewording, justifying, adding spice, or straight up zoning out. So if you wait too long to read their reaction, congratulations, you just gave them enough time to come up with the Netflix original version of their story, dramatized, overproduced, and 98% fake. What you're watching for in that 5-second window are clusters, a glorious mess of sketchy signals packed together like a red flag parade. We're talking verbal nonsense like contradicting themselves or suddenly turning into a fucking politician dodging your question. Nonverbal red flags like scratching their face, fidgeting like they just sat on a cactus, or making suspicious eye contact with the wall. Now here's the kicker. One weird behavior? Hey, maybe they're just awkward. But 2 or more in that short-ass window? That's a cluster, baby. And a cluster means the odds of them lying just skyrocketed faster than Elon Musk's next PR disaster. So remember, ask your question, shut up, and watch like a hawk on Red Bull. The truth hides in those first 5 seconds before the bullshit kicks in. Let's talk about unusual behavior, or as the FBI likes to call it, that's some sketchy-ass energy right there. See, real agents don't just walk in like, tell me the truth, you lying bastard. Nah, they're smarter than that. First, they warm up the convo with chill, low-stakes questions. Why? Because they're studying your baseline, aka how you act when you're not under pressure and not scrambling to cover your ass. They're clocking everything, your tone, your posture, how you move your hands, even how often you blink. Basically, they're building a mental file labeled how this motherfucker normally behaves. And here's the trick. Once they switch gears and hit you with the juicy, high-pressure questions like, where were you really last night? They're watching for any deviation from that baseline. That's the moment your mask slips. So, if you usually talk fast and suddenly turn into a stuttering robot, Suspicious? If you normally hold eye contact, but now you're making awkward love to the floor tiles, uh-oh. The more someone veers off their baseline when shit gets real, the more likely they're feeding you a hot steaming plate of bullshit. Bottom line? Know the baseline. Catch the glitch. Spot the lie. Be the badass who notices when someone's acting shadier than a solar eclipse. Here's a sneaky little trick that even FBI agents would slow clap for. It's called the double question, and it works like a motherfucking lie grenade. Here's how it plays out. You hit someone with a simple question like, "You hit the gym yesterday, right?" Cool. They nod, maybe flex a little, say, "Yeah, totally crushed it." Great. Then wait a few minutes. Keep the conversation flowing. Act casual. Then, boom, you follow up with a curveball like, "So, what workout did you do yesterday?" Now, you sit back and watch the magic. If they're telling the truth, they'll give you a normal answer. No panic, no mental gymnastics, just leg day or back and biceps, bro. But if they're lying, oh baby, that's when the wires cross. You'll get hesitation, a story remix, or some vague bullshit like, I did, the thing with weights and stuff. That's your red flag. That's the gotcha moment. See, when someone's lying, they struggle to keep their story straight from multiple angles. Why? Because it's hard as hell to keep track of your own fiction when you're bullshitting on the fly. So next time you smell something fishy, don't just call it out. Trap that lying motherfucker with a double question and let them trip over their own damn story. Let's talk about one of the biggest giveaways that someone's lying, their half-assed vocabulary. When someone's spewing bullshit, they suddenly turn into the most indecisive motherfucker on earth. Instead of giving clear answers, they start tap dancing around the truth with words like, "I think," "maybe," "I guess," "I'm pretty sure," "Oh, really? You guess you didn't cheat? You think you were at home?" Bro, are we giving a statement or playing a round of fucking Jeopardy? Here's what's actually going on. When people lie, their brain goes full lawyer mode. They start hedging, choosing vague-ass language on purpose so they can backpedal later when shit hits the fan. It's like giving themselves a verbal escape hatch. Now look, I'm not saying every person who uses soft language is a lying sack of garbage. Some people are just anxious, tired, or genuinely forgetful. But when that "I think," "maybe" talk shows up during the juiciest parts of the story, you better keep your bullshit radar on high alert, because real talk, truth sounds like, "I was there." Lies sound like, I think I was probably there-ish. So when the story gets fuzzy and the words get wobbly, don't let it slide. That's a motherfucking clue. All right, let's talk about topic switching. A move so obvious it might as well come with flashing neon lights and a siren that screams, "I'm hiding some shady shit." You know the vibe. You ask someone a pointed question, something real, something that hits a little too close to the truth, and boom, suddenly they're like, "Hey, did you see that video of the cat riding a Roomba?" Yeah, nice try, motherfucker. This isn't just casual convo flow. This is a strategic pivot straight from the "oh shit, I'm about to get caught" playbook. They're uncomfortable, they feel the pressure, and instead of answering, they try to swerve the entire conversation like Fast and Furious 12. Dodge the truth. Here's the thing. People who are confident in what they're saying don't run from a topic. They lean in. But liars treat the subject like it's a ticking time bomb. They're desperate to get anywhere else before it explodes in their face. So when someone suddenly goes from "where were you last night" to "let's talk about your ex instead," you're not just getting a red flag, you're getting the whole damn parade. Bottom line, if the conversation does a random 180 the moment it gets juicy, don't follow the distraction. Stay on target. That pivot, that's the lie trying to escape. If you really want to catch a lying motherfucker slipping, this one's for you. Hit them with an unexpected interruption right in the middle of their story. See, here's what most people don't get. Lying is hard as hell. It's like juggling flaming chainsaws while reciting a fake alibi and trying not to sound like a psychopath. They have to remember their fake timeline, stay consistent, and somehow not say something that makes them look guilty as fuck. So how do you break that little mental charade? You throw a wrench in the gears. Right in the middle of their neatly rehearsed tale, hit them with something like, "Wait, what were you doing right before that again?" Boom. instant brain fog. Now, this isn't just you being annoying. This is deliberate cognitive warfare. It forces them to pause, think, recalibrate, and basically try to reload their fake-ass story on the fly. If they're telling the truth, no big deal. They'll shift gears and pick up where they left off like nothing happened. But if they're lying, you'll see the cracks. Hesitation, confusion, sudden changes in the story. Maybe they forget what they said earlier or throw in some new details that don't match. Busted. And here's the beauty. After the interruption, you just casually go, "Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and pick up where you left off." Then you sit back and watch the chaos unfold. Because when someone's lying, that story was hanging on by a thread, and you just took a goddamn pair of scissors to it. If you really want to catch someone in a lie like a boss, hit them with this. Drop a fake detail right into the convo and just wait. Here's how it works. Let's say someone tells you they were at the store Tuesday. Cool. Now you drop this little verbal landmine. "Oh, weird. You know the store's closed on Tuesdays, right?" Boom. Game on. If they're telling the truth, they'll usually snap back like, nah, it was open. I was there. What are you talking about?" But if they're lying, that motherfucker will nod along like a scared little sheep just trying not to rock the boat. "Oh, yeah, I guess I must have been somewhere else then." Wrong, asshole. Gotcha. See, a truth teller has nothing to hide, so they'll correct you without hesitation. But a liar? A liar's already walking on mental tightrope, and your fake detail just threw a gust of wind at them. They're terrified that pushing back will unravel their whole shaky-ass story, so instead, they agree with your bullshit to keep things smooth. Except you know it's a setup. You know they just agreed to a fake-ass fact. And now you got them, caught red-handed with their pants down and their story full of holes. So yeah, next time you smell bullshit, toss in a fake fact, sit back, and watch that house of lies start to fucking collapse. Alright, here's a real easy way to catch a liar without even lifting a finger. Just ask them what time it all supposedly happened. That's it. Ask questions like, what time did you leave? What time did you get there? How long were you there? Then do the math. If their story sounds like it was written by someone who's never seen a clock in their life, you've got yourself a red flag, my friend. See, truth lives in details, but liars, they suck at time travel. They forget how long things actually take. They say they left at 6, got across town at 6:05, and somehow also picked up food and filled up gas on the way. Bruh. That's not a timeline. That's a Marvel multiverse plot. And here's why this works so damn well. When you're lying, you're guessing. You're making up timestamps on the fly and hoping nobody checks the math. But when the timing doesn't line up with real-life physics, that's a dead giveaway. So when something feels off, drill into the timeline. Get specific. Make them walk you through every minute. If their story has more time warps than a Christopher Nolan film, you're not just dealing with a bad memory, you're dealing with a bold-ass liar who forgot how Google Maps works. Because time doesn't lie, but people sure as fuck do. Look, here's the deal. Everyone lies. Some are amateur hour. Bad liars with twitchy eyes and stories flimsier than gas station napkins. Others, smooth-talking, Oscar-worthy manipulators who've been finessing fake stories since puberty. That's why you don't rely on just one technique. You combine this entire motherfucking toolbox, timelines, fake details, topic shifts, hesitation, and the rest with the most powerful weapon you've got, your gut. Because here's the truth. Your intuition, that quiet little voice that says something's off here, it's almost always right. But we ignore it. We overthink. We give people the benefit of the doubt when we should be handing them a shovel and watching them dig their own damn grave. So next time your bullshit radar starts buzzing, pay attention. Stack that feeling with the signals we just broke down, and when the story starts cracking like cheap glass, trust yourself to call it out, or at the very least, walk the hell away. This isn't just about spotting liars. It's about protecting your peace, your energy, and your time. Because you're not here to be someone's emotional punching bag or gullible-ass backup plan. You're here to see through the noise and handle the truth like a badass.